So they had a speech written for me about what the people need. You guys are the people. You know what you need. Better schools, better jobs, less crime. Right on! Tell the truth! How many of you work 2 jobs and make just enough money to be broke? That ain't right. If you work 2 jobs just to make enough money to get your broke ass home, let me hear you say, that ain't right. That quote was from the character Mays Gilliam in the film Head of State. My speech topic today is titled Combining Ordinary and Hero. In the film Head of State, an ordinary man is chosen to run for President of the United States. Mays Gilliam, who is an African-American citizen, running against the odds, he faces obstacles that the average presidential candidate doesn't. Mays Gilliam represents the minority candidate whose humble background is associated with the majority of the American public who he aims to protect. Combining the ordinary citizen with heroic characteristics that turn into effective actions create the ideal candidate to represent the American people. I will aim to prove this proposition through Mays Gilliam's character in the film, who performs selfless acts of courage, seeks to focus on barriers in society that affect American people, and uses individualism to change things rather than collective political action. I'm going to explore why I believe Mays Gilliam performs selfless acts of courage. In the film, Mays feels very strongly about his community and the people within it. As an alderman, he seeks to protect his community in any way possible, even if it's the smallest deed. In one scene, the government takes away an older lady's house, and they're going to blow it up. And the house has her cat inside, so she's really concerned about that, and she starts to run inside the house. Mays runs after her with 30 seconds on the timer. He convinces her that her place is going to blow up. After he finally convinces her to get out of the house, they get out of the house just in time, and the building blows up as they're running behind them, as they're running out. This scene creates a great example of the importance of and the impact of selfless acts of courage. And in a quote I found by Abowitz and Harnish out of the academic journal titled Review of Educational Research, their article is titled Contemporary Discourse of Citizenship, published in 2006. Okay, in the quote, it says, "This sort of passion is not the result of our rational consent to the principles of governance, but a love that translates into action in service of the common good." This quote backs up Mays' selfless, courageous acts that he just performed in that scene. It shows that Mays, he didn't save that woman just because the government told him to. He saved it out of love and respect and for the common good, which I believe is a selfless act of courage. This selfless act proves that Mays is a heroic citizen. In addition, he also proves his heroic citizenship in the film by focusing on barriers in society that affect the American people rather than focusing on a political barrier. Before the introduction of my speech, I quoted a little part of Mays Gilliam's "That Ain't Right" speech in the film. Mays' campaigns and speeches are all aimed to better the lives and security of the American people. He speaks about what he believes in and addresses issues such as welfare, society, money, and these are all issues that everyday Americans struggle with and relate to. Mays isn't worried about all the money in Congress. He's not worried about all the corporations that lobbied Congress. He's not worried about any of the political barriers that the Congress faces. He's worried about the American people. He wants to do what's better for us and what is set out to be for us. Murphy, in his article, Romantic Democracy of the Rhetoric of Heroic Citizenship, in the Communication Quarterly that was published in 2003. Citizens who roll up their sleeves and make a difference in their communities ostensibly exemplify an ideal form of citizenship to which all Americans might aspire. Such citizens are ordinary as the larger American public for whom they serve as models, but are extraordinary because of their individual effort, quiet humility, and selfless acts of citizenship. Lastly, Mays uses individualism to change things rather than collective political action. In the film, when Mays finds out that he was ultimately chosen as the party candidate, he fires disloyal campaign operatives because he feels like he's been stabbed in the back. He doesn't want anybody that's going to be disloyal on his team if he's trying to do a good thing for the American people. Instead of going along with his original campaign operatives, he decided to fire them because they were disloyal, and that's being dishonest. And if you're dishonest with him, that means that you're probably not going to be honest with the country. So he's more focused on his individual efforts in order to shape America better instead of a collective political action. According to Clapp, his article titled "Hero Worship in America" in the American Sociological Review, published in 1949, he states, in addition to this problem of values, the emergence of popular heroes has frequently constituted a disturbing and political force. Mays defies this quote by instilling values that are opposite of the powerful official by firing and taking initiative in his own hands. In conclusion, Mays combines being ordinary with being a hero. He is an ideal candidate to represent the American people. He aims to propose this by performing selfless acts of courage, focusing on barriers in society that affect the American people, and uses individualism to change things rather than collective political action. These are all characteristics that make up a heroic citizen, and in Mays' case, he would make a great candidate to represent the American people because he can show the American people that he has been where they have been, and he knows what they're struggling through, and he will try as hard as to better it. And with this would make a long-term goal of bettering American society. And with that said, Mays Gilliam for president.